Hi everyone, my name is Masood Saeed. I'm a social science psychologist and electronic and IT engineer. This video will explore philosophy of science versus Islam, a journey through time. I'm sure you've heard the news. The philosophy of science is not static. The question, can science prove science, is complex because it touches on the philosophy of science. Science is based on empirical evidence, experimentation, and observation to explain natural phenomena. However, science does not prove anything in the absolute sense. Rather, it provides evidence that supports or refutes hypotheses and theories. In scientific methodology, a theory is considered valid as long as it is supported by evidence and not falsified. For instance, the theory of gravity or evolution has substantial supporting evidence, but science is always open to revision if new evidence contradicts these established ideas. This approach is based on falsifiability, a concept introduced by philosopher Karl Popper, where a theory must be able to be tested and potentially proven false to be scientific. To directly answer, science cannot prove itself in the philosophical sense, as it is not self-referential in that way. Science works by applying its own methods, observation, experimentation, and peer review to constantly question and refine knowledge. Science's strength lies in its ability to be self-correcting, evolving as new data and insights emerge. In summary, science doesn't prove itself. Rather, it continuously validates or refutes claims through a process of evidence and testing. This ensures that scientific knowledge remains as reliable as possible while acknowledging its provisional nature. It is a field of study that constantly reevaluates its methods and conclusions. New discoveries often challenge existing paradigms, leading to revised understandings of the natural world. This dynamic process has been a hallmark of scientific progress throughout history. For example, the geocentric model of the universe, which placed Earth at the center, dominated scientific thought for centuries. However, Nicolaus Copernicus's heliocentric model, which placed the sun at the center, revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos. This shift in perspective exemplifies how scientific thought is constantly evolving. The development of new technologies also contributes to the evolution of scientific thought. The invention of the telescope, for instance, enabled astronomers to make unprecedented observations, leading to breakthroughs in our understanding of the universe. Similarly, the advent of microscopes opened up the microscopic world, revealing previously unknown realms of life. In essence, the philosophy of science embraces change and adaptation. It acknowledges that our current understanding of the world is always open to revision in light of new evidence and insights. This inherent dynamism is what makes science a powerful tool for exploring and understanding the universe. However, science has its limits and flaws. It cannot answer questions beyond the empirical realm, such as those related to morality, aesthetics, or metaphysics. Additionally, science is prone to errors and biases. Historical examples include the phlogiston theory and the initial resistance to the theory of continental drift. These flaws highlight the importance of critical thinking and peer review in the scientific process, ensuring that errors are identified and corrected over time. By acknowledging its limitations and flaws, science can continue to grow and adapt, providing a more comprehensive understanding of the natural world. In contrast to the ever-evolving nature of scientific thought, Islam presents itself as a faith rooted in immutable truths. Its core tenets, as revealed through the Quran and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be to him, are considered timeless and universally applicable. This unwavering belief in the constancy of its message is a defining characteristic of Islam. Muslims believe that the Quran is the literal word of Allah, revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be to him, through the angel Gabriel. As such, it is considered to be free from error and subject to no revisions or reinterpretations. This divine origin imbues the Quran with an aura of sacredness and permanence, setting it apart from human-made texts. The Hadith, a collection of sayings and actions attributed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be to him, serves as a practical guide to living in accordance with Islamic principles. Like the Quran, the Hadith is considered to be a source of divine guidance and is therefore treated with the utmost reverence and respect. This steadfast adherence to its foundational text underscores Islam's emphasis on continuity and tradition. While other areas of human knowledge may be subject to change and revision, the core principles of Islam are seen as eternal and unchanging. In Chapter 3, Pillars of Islamic Constancy, we explore how the timeless and unchanging foundations of Islamic thought contrast with the ever-evolving nature of scientific philosophy. While the philosophy of science constantly adapts to new discoveries and insights, Islamic principles remain steadfast, offering a unique lens through which to view the world. Pillars of Islamic Constancy. Islamic thought is based on key pillars of belief and practice, which provide an unchanging framework for understanding the world and humanity's place within it. These pillars are deeply rooted in the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah, which are seen as divine and eternal truths. Islam's worldview, including its perspective on nature, creation, and ethics, remains largely unaffected by external philosophical shifts. These pillars ensure that Islam provides a moral and spiritual constant regardless of changes in human knowledge or societal progress. Tawheed, oneness of God. Central to Islamic belief is the idea of the unity and oneness of God, Allah. This principle, known as Tawheed, asserts that all aspects of existence are governed by Allah's will and wisdom. From an Islamic perspective, the natural world, including scientific phenomena, operates under the laws set by Allah. This contrasts with the philosophy of science, which seeks to explain natural phenomena without recourse to divine intervention, relying instead on empirical observation and testing. Divine revelation versus human reasoning. In Islam, the ultimate source of knowledge is divine revelation, most notably the Quran, which Muslims believe to be the word of Allah. Human reasoning and scientific inquiry are encouraged, but they must align with divine wisdom. Islamic scholars have historically embraced scientific study, but emphasized that science must be understood within the framework of Islamic ethics and the guidance provided by the Quran and Hadith. On the other hand, modern philosophy of science prioritizes human reasoning and empirical evidence over religious or spiritual considerations. Eternal moral law. Islam teaches that morality is unchanging, with clear guidelines provided by Allah. The concept of right and wrong is not subject to societal trends or the progression of scientific knowledge. In contrast, the philosophy of science is neutral on moral issues, focusing instead on what can be known or observed. As science advances, societal values may shift, but Islamic moral law remains constant. Intersection of science and Islam. Throughout Islamic history, Scholars such as Al-Ghazali, Ibn Sina, Avicenna, and Ibn Rushd, Averroes, have engaged deeply with both philosophy and science. They sought to harmonize religious belief with scientific exploration, believing that the pursuit of knowledge was an act of worship. However, they also maintained that scientific findings should never contradict the core principles of Islam. Al-Ghazali criticized the deterministic worldview of early philosophers, arguing that divine intervention is always at play, even in natural processes. His work, The Incoherence of the Philosophers, Tahafut al-Falasifa, highlighted the limits of human reasoning when detached from divine guidance. Ibn Sina, though a philosopher and scientist, also emphasized the metaphysical aspects of knowledge, asserting that true understanding comes from a combination of intellectual and spiritual insights. Philosophy of science, a shifting paradigm. In contrast to Islamic constancy, the philosophy of science is marked by continuous evolution. Thinkers such as Karl Popper, Thomas Kuhn, and Imre Lakatos have contributed to our understanding of how scientific knowledge progresses. Kuhn, for example, introduced the idea of paradigm shifts, the notion that scientific revolutions occur when new evidence contradicts existing theories, leading to entirely new frameworks of understanding. This contrasts with the Islamic view, which holds that divine truth is eternal and unchanging. The philosophy of science is also inherently skeptical of absolutes. Theories are accepted only provisionally until better explanations are found. This stands in contrast to the certainty provided by Islamic teachings, where spiritual and moral truths are considered definitive. Conclusion: harmony and tension. While there are clear differences between the philosophy of science and Islam, particularly in terms of methodology and epistemology, the two are not necessarily in conflict. Islam encourages the pursuit of knowledge and has historically fostered scientific inquiry. However, it places this pursuit within the bounds of a divinely revealed moral framework, something that the philosophy of science, with its emphasis on empirical observation and change, does not do. Do not forget to tap on the like, subscribe, and share buttons, and also leave a comment.